Congratulations, you found the one station that plays Ghana's best urban music.
YFM.
YFM 107.9 Accra, 102.5 Kumasi, and 97.9 at Takoradi.
Tell me a little bit about the kind of family you were born into and how you managed to survive amongst your family. I mean, where the family setting is, where you grew up, where you were born. Give us a little bit info into that.
Okay, so I was born in a very huge family. Okay, huge family. So my dad's kids were about 63. And
wait, go over that again.
I said we are 63.
63.
Yes, a number. And when we were together, you kind of being bullied, so you had to grow up muscle even when you're 10 to stand your brothers that are like 50, 20, because knocks, beating, shouting at was the order of the day. So I guess growing up, I was hardened from the family that I came from. And the love was exceptional because you can imagine that different mothers, but then we all grew up together. Yeah. So then we were taught to love each other. So you couldn't discriminate to say that this is not my mom's son, this is not my mom's daughter. So that's. So all of us were together. Basically, we ate from the same bowl. We kind of sleep in the same, like those around our age groups, we kind of eat the same bowl, sleep together. So again, you would be able to laugh, you would be able to accommodate, and I bet God knew why he put me in such a family, because in that family I was able to build the skill to accommodate. It's such a good skill that they don't teach you in school. You might need to imbibe that in your household, accommodation. So again, I bless God for my family. I thank God that I was not born in any other family, but that huge family where you find any character you want to talk about. Any character. Yeah. So yes, I bless God.
But
for
who
such
are you?
experience.
What was your character?
So I was the only female in 7 boys.
Okay, in
at
your
my
corner.
age.
Okay.
In my age group.
Okay.
So I tend to try to move around with them. So growing up, certainly like a tomboy, because I was playing with only boys. Yeah. So it was fun. It was fun, but that hardened me because you couldn't push me around.
You can't be soft.
You can't because my brothers would push me around and I have to stand up to them. So when I come out, I had to stand out. Yes, I did. It hardened me.
Any notable moments, highlights in your growing up, things you really remember, and you smile, ones that you remember, and then you cool down?
Yeah, I think that recently I shared with one of my brothers. My dad, in the evenings after he had finished eating, will call all of us, and then we say that maybe the times table, we repeat the times table. And 7 times table was the most difficult one for some reason, 7 and 8 times table. And I, being the only girl, I could recite it. And my older ones, they were like guys, they couldn't recite. And my dad would ask me to knock them. If you could not recite, I knock you. And when I knock them, they beat me. Yeah. So the next day when we have to do it, I have to be soft because the magnitude of the knock will determine the magnitude of the knock I get after daddy's punishment. So when I'm not able to knock them hard, my dad will give me a hard knock for me to transfer that on. I think
they were blackmailing you.
Yes, recently we really laughed about it, and it was such an experience that my father gave me, and I'm grateful for his life.
Definitely grateful for that. What were your ambitions, your childhood ambitions? Where did you want to see yourself growing up? Did you have any wild ambitions?
I did, but I honestly don't know where I got that ambition from. Growing up, I wanted to be an air hostess.
Yours is good.
For what reason, I cannot. But chartering my course, I did not anywhere in the university even think that I want to be in a university to be an air hostess. Yeah. But then, growing up, I wanted to be an air hostess.
I was very disappointed 3 days ago. So my mom celebrated her 61st birthday 3 days ago, and I went there with my wife, and to my surprise, she decided to do my life story instead of hers. And I was told I wanted to be an Okada rider.
Okay, that makes one of my brothers wanted to be a kinky seller.
And so I remember very well. I mean, it made sense because there was a person I really loved, a figure I loved. Back in school, I was at Udar Barracks, so it was an army setting. And there was this man who was part of the motorcade, the official motorcade. And he would do skills, you know, stand on the motorbike and ride. And I had so much interest in the figure he was, you know. I wanted to be so much like him, like lead, be special. So I think that was why I wanted to be that. Did you, in the same light, do you have anybody you looked up to that made you want to get into that path, or?
Yes, I did. I worship at how do you call it? Assemblies of God, Roman Ridge.
Okay.
And growing up, Dr. Kwabena Dufour was in our church, and he was the governor of Bank of Ghana at that time, and all the monies that we were spending had his signature on
it. Yeah.
So in my mind, he was like my hero. Every time I saw this man, I was overwhelmed with his humility and how soft-spoken he was, and he was my icon. He was everything. Yes. So he was. So really, I think that it was after then I decided that I want to be a governor of Bank of Ghana someday. Okay. So that I don't say. I like to say the else. Yes.
That's like to the extreme.
I adored him because he was so humble, down to earth. But you would see his signature on every note that you pick. That was amazing.
And this man was just right there in
yes,
the church. You could
every
see him,
Sunday I could see him and clap his hands, so gentle.
Yeah.
And when he sees you, ask how you're doing. And I was like, oh my God, I just want to be like this man.
I just saw the man on our money. 21 after 10, Why Little Boat series, guys. Season 4, first episode. Interesting already. Abena Brigidi, CEO of Nimed Capital, is here sharing her life story with us. It just begun. In case you just joined us, kindly make time and share our Facebook stream. We're live on Facebook now, Y107.9 FM in a bit. I'll jump on there and let you know who and who are watching. The shouts going out to our sponsors, MTN Ghana, Car Bank, and Chocomo from Casapreco. So I want to find out, all right, what set of values did you pick from, your childhood? The values that anchored you through the subsequent phases of your life from your childhood. I mean, you mentioned love as being a part of the things you picked from being in a big family, you being able to accommodate other people. What are the other things you picked?
I think that the other thing I picked was discipline, and that I got from Achimota School. I went to boarding school very early.
Okay.
I went to boarding school when I was just in class 3. And in Achimota School, we had time for everything. Time to eat, time to sleep, time to go prep, everything. So being disciplined was something I picked up, and I believe that be having the skill to accommodate, the skill to communicate, make my point, because I came from a big family, and then if you didn't shout, you were not heard. So to communicate, that skill actually came. And then the number one, which I believe is love, which I was able to get. When you have these, being determined is easy to do.
Yeah, it makes it simple and easier for all of us.
Easy.
So in the pursuit of success, right, people tend to make a lot of sacrifices. As part of the things I've learned, I know people usually put aside family, making a family, to pursue success. Did you have to do anything like that?
No.
Okay.
I did not have to sacrifice my family just to pursue career. I got to a point where I had to balance. Okay, so you need to have a life where you're balancing family and that of career. And I normally urge young ones or young ladies that you cannot sacrifice one for the other. Neither can you say that you just want to concentrate on career and leave family, or concentrate on family and leave career. You've got to balance it. So I did that alongside, kind of balancing my career, trying to move up quickly as possible, looking for a stable relationship, getting married, having kids, training my kids. I did all that together. So of course, balancing is the key word.
Balancing is the key word.
Balancing.
But after you balance, I'm sure you attest to the fact that there are still a few sacrifices you have to make on the side. Maybe you made sacrifices in the course of your work, so you can
Be with family.
be with family?
Okay, that's
Or
many times you will. Okay, so last week I was so overwhelmed, and my daughter was not well, and there was so much, and I had booked an important appointment that I really had to be there, and I was torn between going to the hospital with my daughter or going for that appointment. Okay, I didn't want to disappoint or tell the clients that I couldn't come in. So at the long run, I had to sacrifice the client for my daughter.
Wow.
And then I called a friend right away, one of my colleagues in one of the asset managements, and I said that, Jack, you know what? I give up. I'm no more talking about equalization. I'm no more talking about...
That's the part where you tap out.
I'm no more talking about equalization. All I'm talking about now is equity, because now I know I can match it. Because as a woman entrepreneur, woman leader, there'll come a time where you need to sacrifice your work for your family. And in as much men don't do that, the men will just walk out. Okay.
Well, some do.
Not many. Not many. Not many.
Well, the few that I've met do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
God bless you for doing that. Yeah. But many of us, we certainly would have to sacrifice some family duties, or sacrifice some major transactions for family duties. So I believe that, and I'll say that again, equalization is great.
It's beautiful.
But I believe that we just need equity on the table. Give us a place to sit on the table and be comfortable, but we are not going to ask for boot to boot. No. That's
Let's just be there.
Let's be there.
Let's have a seat in there.
Give us a seat.
How did childbirth and motherhood impact your life? Did it change your perspective about anything in life?
It did.
It did, right?
It did. For me, childbirth really drew me closer to God.
Okay.
Because when I look at how a child is born, and then the way the child grows, then I'm not able to contain the magnitude of God. I'm not able to see how he works. I see him now that he's a great and some super God, because seeing the baby cry, then talk, then start shouting, running, it's got to be one big God do that. It's not about me. Okay, so for me, childbirth really drew me to God, because it really opened my eyes for me to see how big he was. Not just seeing them. The mountains didn't do anything to me. The rivers that people talk about, I didn't really appreciate how great God was just looking at a mountain. But how kids grow, how they're able to even transition from toddler to, and all those things taught me a lot. And that, if I want to talk about it, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. But then I believe that childhood told me that there's a bigger God somewhere that I really needed to relate to.
Are you a mom at work too?
Yes. In fact, in my office, I believe that in all the offices that I work in, I believe that everybody sees me as one.
Okay.
Because I tend to be there for them. Naturally, as a leader and a woman, they all tend to see you as their mother and tend to share everything with you. So yes.
I interviewed Auntie Joyce on the first season of Wiley the Board series, and she shared a very interesting point. The fact that it's good to have the mother figures in a corporate setting, in our workspace, but to a certain level, it sort of like breaks certain points in the delivery of our duties in a corporate setting. Do you agree?
I agree 100%.
Okay.
100%, because the people that we work with, if you see them as your kids, you're able to groom them well and also be tolerant. You can tolerate them when you see them as part of you. So there are things that if your son or your daughter might have done, you could have easily let go.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you come to the workspace and then your staff do that, if you don't bring that motherly attitude there, you'd always overreact when you didn't need to. So 100% I do believe that. 100% I also believe that as a mother, if you bring that same attribute to the office space, what happens is that you're careful. Mothers are careful.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my space, I will hardly And they know it. You can hardly come and tell me about something dodgy and expect that I'm going to easily agree.
Like fall for it, right?
No. So I'm careful. We think through the process.
Yeah.
I don't make decisions on haste. I can't. I kind of also bring everybody in just to make sure that everybody's heard, and that's what a mother does at home. So yes, 100%.
To that level.
That level, yes.
All right. I'm interested in us talking about your days in senior high school. What kind of students were you? I was told you were very interested in entertainment. Did the person lie?
Oh, the person did lie.
The person did lie, right?
Yes, the person did lie. Okay, so naturally I'm very quiet.
Okay.
So I believe that in my every girl's days, I was quiet, but in class I was a talkative because I'm a Kumasi girl, okay? And English is something I cannot relate to.
Yeah.
Okay, so in Abri girls, you're not allowed to even speak a dot of G. You cannot. When you speak that, they would punish you. You read. And we actually had a prefect that was in charge that nobody speaks Tree. Can you imagine? No vernacular at all, not necessarily Tree, no vernacular. There was a prefect dedicated to that. And the usual Kumasiano, every Friday I was listed. So yes.
So you were reading.
In fact, I was prepared to read. So every Friday I would go in with my cutlass. And yes. But when you see me, the quiet girl going, but then of course. Yes.
That's very interesting. I'm laughing because, I also grew up in Kumasi and people never really accept this point, but it is. I mean, some of us had to keep quiet at certain points because Bofuna does too much. You see, it's not like we can't speak the English, so we can't, but you see, sometimes let us express.
Just open it up. The RL,
Those parts are there.
Those parts are there.
But then when we do it, we overdo it too. I mean, we over perfect it.
Yes.
You get certain points, people will ask you, who you Kumasi? Oh yeah, I'm from Kumasi. Oh, you don't sound. How do we sound? How are we? Are we not like any other person? No.
I wonder.
We're not. We're actually, honestly, speaking about it, we're not. So between the period of attaining your bachelor's degree from the University of Ghana and a master's of business admin in general management from the University of London, where did your career begin? Did you touch anything, work in there?
Yes. So for me, like I mentioned, Dr. Dufour, I actually walked up to him one day and I said to him that I wanted to be like him. And he gave me the opportunity to do internship at Unibank.
Oh, great.
So in my last days at university, I was interning at Unibank.
Okay.
And then, of course, I did my service at Unibank. And then was poached by Zenith when Zenith was coming in, and being naughty, I left and I went to Zenith. That was not too great, but then yes, I did.
Do you think our system these days, I mean the work world and academia, is it vastly disconnected still like it used to be, or there's been an improvement? People studying so much but don't have the experience on the field. I mean, I asked this because you mentioned internship. There's sort of like a big disconnection between people excelling on that side and then excelling in the workspace as well. So people are really studying, they are passing their papers, they are getting all the certificates, but the world of work is also crying because there's not much to gain from these guys when they come up. Do you think the disconnect is there?
Absolutely, there's a huge disconnection. The reason I say that is it looks as if that there's this wholesome kind of education going on, this chew and pour. There's no practicalization of the theories that we're learning. And again, some of these theories we're learning are not applicable in our day-to-day activities that we have at work. So for instance, if you wanted to be an investment banker, and you were learning, say, P science.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no correlation.
There's no correlation in that. So after your university, you might need to go the extra mile to do a professional course in relation to that for you to become an investment banker. So why would I spend my whole 4 years in a university where when I graduate from the
you
university,
still need a professional
I still
studies training.
need a professional? If that's the case, then we should have professional entities that you don't need to go to university. Just go straight into the professional
Get
entities.
trained.
Get trained. And then have, because most of the professional and universities have some kind of internship programs that they enroll.
Mandated, yeah.
Yes, they enroll their students in. And that would be, because now, if you see a graduate write you a memo, then you ask yourself, did she or he really probably go to the university? Yes, is that bad? Is that bad? Is that bad? Is that bad that sometimes when you interact with people, you realize that they just know the hardcore, which is the theory aspect,
yeah.
but the practical things which reflect to our day-to-day, it's not there.
It's not there.
So it's something that our educational system, people at the helms of it, would really have to look at.
Did you pick a career in what you studied in uni?
No.
No. What did you study in uni?
Political science. Yes, and I did economics and political science.
You did a combined major too?
Yes.
Okay. I did the same thing.
And it's what I'm doing now is nothing
Totally different.
related to that.
Yeah.
Nothing related to
I mean, they tell you, just do it. You find yourself in a space where the things you learned will be necessary. I mean, I feel a few things we learned, I mean, the con students are quite privileged. A few of the things we learned, you can apply to your life. Whichever space you find yourself,
That's
you
true.
can apply a little bit in there. But I feel, just as you said, we need to speed things up by being a bit specific. This is what the person wants to do. What are your career, aspirations? You need to go to this field. If it's a bank you want to work with, okay, this is what you're doing. All right. If it's music, this is where you go to. If it's journalism, we need more of those in here so we can, fast track things. Because time to go. I won't lie. Time to go. Like, if you calculate the number of years you need, because she just mentioned this, you have to go and do professional studies after uni, and then maybe along the line you might have to do your masters as well. Many years. And then you come back and you have to come and struggle with, our salary-based system, all that. I mean, we'll leave that for another day.
Meanwhile, our contemporary in the Western world
Yes.
went straight into their professional degrees. And then by 21, 23, if the person is like a chartered financial analyst,
They were on the field
that's it.
already.
They were already on it. But our counterparts that went to tech, they are privileged. Okay, so for me now, if you ask me which university you should go, in as much as there's a premier university, I might say go to tech.
Go to the technical.
Or probably go to
UDS,
no,
professional
this one.
studies. You might?
Yes. But this private one, the one, Ashasi.
Okay.
Because they have this intern program. And I kind of have these students come to my office for intern. They have this intern program that they let them go out like every semester to go and have a feel of the professional life. And then when they come back home, they're able to relate.
Yes. So I think I've had countless conversations with Patrick. Patrick was on the show as well. And their main goal is basically to bridge the gap between academia and the world of work. And they start from day one. So they're creating a new age graduates who can go to work the very day they get their certificates, because they understand how the work system is. They're given the prerequisite skills to really understand how things operate, or how things are operated in the workspace, so they don't have to get in and now start learning. Anyways, we'll get there. Now, along the way, you joined Karela Group.
Yes.
Tell us about the journey and your rise through the ranks to becoming the chairperson of the group. You remember your first day at Karela?
Yes, I do. So Karela is by affiliation. So my late husband owned the Karela Group.
Okay.
So with my background, I was appointed then the financial director. So of course I had to do their financials for them each time. And by detour, when he's no more, I become the chairman. So yes,
Wow.
Simple as that. ABC.
Was it a big shoe for you to fill?
Indeed, it has been. It's been one of the biggest hats I have to wear, because this hat, in terms of the Karela Group, had several entities in, and Nimed alone is a handful. So to be able to accommodate these three entities and wear the same hat, that he wore. He was such a brilliant chap, and there was no way I would be able to compete. And so it's such a big shoes for me to wear. Big shoes. I'm still struggling in those shoes walking around.
I know you do good. You good. I know you continuously make him proud.
I'm trying my best.
We will get there. We'll get there. I'm very hopeful. Now, if you had to sum up your experiences in the oil and gas sector with just a word, what would it be before we go into detail? Challenging, right? Do you feel people don't understand the whole oil and gas industry here in Ghana?
I think that the whole oil and gas industry needs proper reforms. Proper reforms in the sense that people in there need a change of mindset. But I believe that most people in there, everybody works for money anyway, don't get me wrong. But I believe that there's too much, anyways, oil, black oil, so there's too much dirty games that go on, and you need to be extra smart to be able to play in that world here in Ghana. So yes, too challenging.
Too challenging, right. How important is it, in your opinion, for young professionals to widen their scope of engagements, especially in our ever-changing career space? The need for us to grow, to change how we operate. I mean, we've touched on a few things before this, but how important is it for young professionals? So after we get into the professional field, how important is it for us to widen our scope, of engagements?
I think that one encouragement that I give people is to learn to multitask when you have a position. Say, for instance, if you're just an analyst and then all you do is to probably do reports, I say that try as much as possible to look into different desks, what they do, and then build yourself in that same space. If you see articles, read them. You see, don't be stationed. You need to be continuously improve yourself.
Evolve.
And by improving yourself would mean engaging in that same art. So if I want to say be a CEO someday, you know that being a CEO, you need to understand some bit of finance, you need to understand some bit of marketing, some bit of sales, everything. So then if that is your aim, that means that evolving will mean that touching in all these aspects, so you cannot be stationed at your comfort zone. Yes. It's very important.
Very, very important. If you had to put names to persons or groups who inspired you as a young professional, what would these names be, and what significant contributions did they make in your career journey? I mean, you mentioned one already.
Yes.
So let's move on to the rest.
Okay. So one person that I would say that really inspired me, which I've never told him before. When I came into investment banking, there's this chap that we started all time together.
Okay.
That's Nana Nketia. And
wow.
Nana Nketia was an inspiration. I'd done some bit of investment banking in the UK before I came for us to set up All Time Capital. But then he virtually took me through the process, hands-on. Hands-on. And I don't know if he's listening, Nana. If you're listening, I really do appreciate, and I want to honor you this morning, because he has no idea what he did for me, because he virtually took me through the process. So if I'm making any waves in the investment banking space, I would attribute it to him and All Time.
Wow. It's good. Gratitude is very, very important. People do things for you. You do appreciate them. 0202222073, our official WhatsApp Live. Wiley the Boat Series brought to you by MTN Ghana, Cal Bank, and Chokomore by Casap Record. If you're on our Facebook now, shouts going out to you. I've seen a couple people already. Kobe Dusty says, I'm learning from the Zuma now. Sense. Minister Neil Poku Jr. says, real mother and Casa. Solomon Nate says, good work, YFM. Gabby from Castle is watching us live. Great inspiration. Percy Mensa is his name. And last one is from 3CA and Chim says, really enjoying the conversation. Sorry. Kudos, Abena. All right. So I'm very much interested in my guests sharing their experience outside Ghana with me. I mean, the ones who have had the opportunity of, leaving Ghana. What inspired you to pursue your master's in the UK? I mean, you could have done it here as well.
I think that for me, it was the blend of even inculcating the exposure, basically, I should say, the exposure. When I finished Legon, Legon is fantastic.
Beautiful.
Amazing. But I realized that I didn't know what to do. So when in Unibank, in Zenith Bank, I was struggling, and I wanted to do more because I was so full, hungry, with too many things to do, and I needed some bit more experience and also learn what they do out there. So it was important that I go out. And I'll tell you my experience.
Tell me.
You know, in Legon, we never had any presentations done. So we didn't do, we just had coursework done and then IAs and stuff like that. There was no major presentations where we all sit and then one person comes in front and present their findings and all that. So my first experience in the UK in my coursework, I was meant to present what I had written and for the whole class to critique it. And you won't believe it. I was speaking and they couldn't hear me. I was shaking to the core. My bones were I could hear my bones shake. And in my mind, I was speaking, not knowing I was just stationed. I was just there.
You were not moving anywhere.
I wasn't, in my mind, I was reading, I was telling them what my thoughts were, which were a good thought-provoking, but I couldn't express it, so they couldn't even hear me. Okay, so that tells you that if you want an all-round person, that means that you might need some bit of exposure. Other than that, our system here will need to inculcate all these skills into our day-to-day learning program in the universities. So for me, one of the major things that probably I might have learned is to get that confidence to present my papers.
I think a few schools are doing it. I know of KNUST where they do com skills. And so it's there's an ample part of it, and so whatever course you're offering, there's a little bit of com skills in there where you get to a point as part of your assignment you have to present. And so I used to laugh at my friends back in school, but I never knew what I was missing. I went to Legon as well. I think there was no moment we had that. A few of my friends that did linguistics, I think had that at some point, but in my course in particular we never did. But then I come to the corporate field and I realize there are points where you have to go and pitch presentations to clients. Okay, and I also share this experience. I mean, I've been on radio for 6 years. Somewhere around my second year, we had to do a media tour. So we went to, I think, Samsung. The office used to be at the Silver Star Tower, and then we went there, and I was lost. I was the one that was leading this team. I mean, in the form of presentation, I was supposed to present our plan and all that, the proposal we had for them. And I realized it wasn't an easy thing to do. I mean, I do good here, but I never knew there's a bit of what I do that I was supposed to learn earlier, because these are things you don't just learn. You grow with it.
You grow with it. Fantastic.
And the confidence builds with time.
With time.
But we are not introduced to this at all.
At all.
We'll get there. I think we need a reform. You know, we need a reform.
There's a major reform that people at the helms of education needs to bring. And I think that the educational minister now is doing fantastic. If he continues, that should be great.
After your master's, you stayed there for a while?
Yes, I did. So, again, I had an opportunity because we had HBOS come to the school to... more or less to recruit from there. So luckily for me,
that's Hugo Boss?
Yeah, not Hugo Boss, HBoss. It was Halifax PLC, then merged with Bank of Scotland.
Oh, great.
So then they called it then HBoss. Okay, so they came in to do the recruitment in the school, and I was hired. So that was when I was given the opportunity to work with a financial advisor at HBoss at Canary Wharf. That was a big deal.
And you stayed with them for how long?
Oh, roughly about a year.
A year?
Yeah, a year, 3 months.
Yes. The salary was good?
It was great, but then you are on as a graduate trainee, so of course it's not like you don't get bonuses like they would get the bonuses, but they'll give you something small.
But if you had stayed, honestly, I think you would have made more than what you probably made when you decided to come back to
Being
Ghana,
an investment banker in the UK is a big deal.
It's a big deal, right?
It's a big deal.
So what inspired you to come back after, getting all these opportunities? You went out there for exposure And then one day you decided, okay, I'm coming back to Ghana.
Home is home.
Home is home.
I couldn't see myself live in the UK, and the experiences that I got whilst working as a graduate trainee really pushed me to come back home and to start something and then push. So like I say, I tell everybody this story every time. So whilst working at HBOS, a lady walks in, very young, about 22 years, comes in and then says I should check her investment balance, and then I'm checking and I open her account, so unassuming, seated, and poof, about 80 something thousand pounds.
That's money.
Too much money for such girl. And I was like, where have I been? And this time I had worked at Zenith for like 4 years or 3 years, and I had nothing to my name. I didn't have any investment, nothing whatsoever. I was literally living from hand to mouth. And this young girl had 80,000 pounds.
Sitting down.
And then I knew that, it just then hit me that there's something that we are missing here in Ghana. The realization or dedication or people being told that there's the need for you to sacrifice your today for tomorrow. So this girl could have had the opportunity to spend all these monies that she had, but she was informed. So she decided to save. So then I knew I had too many people in Ghana like me who were just spending on clothes, were spending on...
Pretty much just surviving on luxury.
On luxury. And if I did come back and then set up an investment hub, I could reach more people to change their lives. So for me, that was the main focus for coming. I'd gotten an experience, some knowledge, and I wanted to come back home and share.
So that was that the plan, to come and change?
That is.
That was it.
That is.
But did you know where to start from?
Honestly, when I came into Ghana, I did a sampling of asset management firms that were in Ghana. And at that time, there were not many, but the one that would stand out was Data Bank. And because Data Bank was huge, I didn't want to join Data Bank or probably even go and apply. So I was looking for a new entity that was starting up, so that I could, because I'd gotten this set of skills that in a reform or a well-structured entity you couldn't penetrate. So you needed an entity that was starting, and then you'll be able to build the culture around these skills. So luckily I got one which was all time. And then I started with them. But along the way, I still realized that the impact that I wanted to create, I didn't still have the space, the opportunity, because again, the whole entity had its own strategy. And it was a bit off the financial literacy. And it's expensive to champion financial literacy. And you won't get much out of it in terms of return. So you might need to get a space where you're just championing financial literacy, and you know that it's just for God and country.
Wow. Inspiring, guys. And so we'll talk more about what happened after you got in here, the few disappointments that you might have faced here and there. We'll touch on all that in a bit. But guys, don't forget, in the studio with me is Boache Abena Brigidi, Nimed Capital CEO. He has a lot to share with us. I mean, I feel we're nowhere close to what we're actually supposed to talk about today. But you can be a part of this conversation. Coming up next, we have our Ask segments where you guys have the opportunity to be a part of the interview. If you have any question for us so far, send it through WhatsApp 02022220733. The producers will just pick it up to me or put in the hashtag Wiley the Boss Series. I'll definitely serve it for you. Before we move back to the conversation, if you want to be refreshed, High Five Choco Malt is the best bet for you. Trust me, it's the first malt drink with chocolate flavor made to make you break loose. High Five Choco Malt refreshes you most when needed with its perfect blend of chocolate and malt. High Five Choco Malt says enjoy the malt and feel the chocolate. It comes in 3 unique flavors. It's High Five Choco Malt, and that is at the cool price of 3 Ghana cedis. That's a High Five Choco Malt. It's the new normal. It's best served chilled. Available at all supermarkets and shops nationwide. Another quality product from Casa Precon Company Limited, an ISO certified company. For bulk purchase, the numbers to call is 0262 351251 or 0272 133-373. All right, call any of these numbers and get Asa Preco's Choco Malt in bulk for your family and yourself. It's getting bigger and better on MTN every single day. MTN has so much more for you, so much to give to all our loyal customers. We know how you love your long phone conversations and sure do know how you love your internet as well. So now guess what? We're giving you two great things. With MTN Free After One, you get to talk for as long as you wish. Pay for the first minute only and the rest is absolutely free. So if you decide to talk to your friends and family members for 24 hours, all you're paying for is the first minute and then the rest is on the house. We're paying for all that. Plus, we give you free 50 megabyte data to browse for free on top of that. Just dial star 550 hash to subscribe to MTN Free After One now and stay connected because we're good together. T's and C's apply. MTN says everywhere you go. Now, mobile banking has had a new turn. It's great now with Car Bank. Now you can do all your banking on your mobile phone by simply dialing star 771 hash. You dial that to register for any service on there. You can replace and update and renew your Ghana card. Check your account balance, transfer funds to mobile money wallets. That is mobile money for MTN. That is MTN Momo Cash, MTN Mobile Money, Airtel Tigo Cash, Vodafone Cash. You can pay third-party vendors or transfer funds to other banks, buy airtime to top up, and do more. It's called a Car Bank Mobile Services and it's star 771 hash. Call it as simple as ABC. Register for free by dialing star 771 hash now. Make the Car Bank Mobile Banking Service your preferred choice. Pay for your DSTV, buy data, whatever it is that you want to do, just do it. For more information, visit our website carbank.net or connect to us via email customercare@carbank.net. You can also call us toll free on 0800 500 500. And so we're talking about, I'm now coming back to Ghana and, the entire plan and all that. But we want to find out the specifics. I mean, at what point you must have applied for jobs. What did you face in there after you picked up the jobs? What were the challenges? Because one thing I know is when you have the experience of Abrochiri Small and you come back, certainly any offer given to you doesn't seem too good. I beg to differ. I mean, did you face anything?
In terms of
what maybe the company might give you?
In terms of monetary?
And all that.
Okay.
The package, because apparently at Brocherie, they give you more than just what they would give you.
That's true. Okay. But for me, that was not my focus. My focus was not, since I had already worked in Ghana before, I had a fair sense of how the salaries were in Ghana. So moving, I knew what I was going to expect when I come in. So that was really not the focus. And in terms of even salary-wise, when I went into all-time, it was because it was a managerial role. It was a bit more than even I expected. So for that one, I didn't face that challenge. But the frustration is when you have worked outside and then the system seems to be working. And then you come and it's like, you make a step and then you hit a block, and the block is just human block. Somebody's just trying to frustrate the whole
It's
process.
almost as if here you come back and we are working the system.
Yes. So you feel that people are intentionally manipulating the system for their personal gains or just to frustrate you. So that is where the real challenge is when you come back. So you realize that when most people come back from abroad, a year, they're so frustrated they want to go back.
Some want to pack and go back.
And trust me, you'll be surprised that the most structured entities in Ghana, when they have these people come from outside, are still frustrated because the system is still not working like it's supposed to. And when you come back, you're so fired up that you want to push and then get things changed the way that you have seen. I'll tell you a story. In my MBA class, there was this guy that had come from Nigeria, and in fact, the bank, which is First Bank in Nigeria, is the biggest bank in Nigeria.
First Bank PLC.
Yes, and they had sponsored him as a change agent. So they had brought him to school and to come and learn, get the exposure, come in with a new mindset, new energy,
and change things.
And come and change things, because things in there were practically slow. You couldn't move transactions. So he comes in, and then he figures out what is going on, and then he kind of go back to work and then come back to class. So one time he decided that, okay, what is it? Let's do a survey and then see what is really keeping these transactions from delaying. And then he tries to monitor each day or each time. Say a document A moves to Mr. Kwesi. How long does it take from Mr. Kwesi to get to the final approval? How long would it take? And he realized that it takes a whole week for just one document to be approved. So then he said, this process are kind of repeating this process. Why don't we skip some of these? And then, again, being the change agent and just fast track some of these things. He was changing things and pushing things. Then one of his managers called him and he said, Caleb, that's his name, Caleb. Caleb, have you ever seen an elephant before? Because the first bank, their sign is an elephant. And he said, not in person, but yes, I've seen a picture of an elephant. And he said, have you ever seen the elephant run before? Then he said, no. He said, the day you see the elephant run, there's trouble. There's a reason why
things are
slowing.
Wow.
So this is the mindset that people have. So with all the fire, if you're not careful and you come, they will intentionally quench that fire.
They will sabotage.
So it's very frustrating that you come with all the fire, with all the knowledge, and then you're eager to push for the system to work. And then people really sit on to just slow down the process. That's really frustrating.
That's one of the really frustrating
I'm not sure
things.
that the challenging issue would be their remuneration.
Wow. Very, very, very thought-provoking. I mean, I'm really thinking about this now that you've mentioned. You know, we so long for change, let's change, but then when you change one person and you bring the person back into the same system, change is one of the most painful things. People would definitely create an intentional form of resistance. Because when the system changes, I mean, the processes will be fast-tracked, but then they won't get what they're supposed to get. They won't get time off to, lazy around and do all that. Anyways, so I have a surprise for you on the line. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Eskin. I have Abena in the studio with me. She's listening. I'd like you to mention your name before we go into the conversation.
Right, my name is Akosia Sante.
Oh my God.
Akosia, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning.
You're very welcome, sir.
What's your relationship, with Abena?
Abena is my best friend.
Okay.
There's so much I can say about Abena, such that hours could run into days into weeks into years. But a research done not too long ago was aimed to reveal what friendship meant to Americans. And interestingly enough, it uncovered that 2 in 5 must go through a life-changing experience with a friend before they could actually upgrade to being a best friend.
Wow.
And for me, there are certain milestones that must, of course, be checked off before anyone can be referred to as a bestie. And aside what numerous researchers and authorities have put out, loyalty, respect, and above all, empathy. 3 years in Abena Brigidi Secondary School, 4 years in the University of Ghana, Legon, 2 years in London doing our postgraduate, and a considerable time span and almost 22 years of quality friendship.
Wow.
I can comfortably say I know this girl too well.
Wow.
This girl knows the inside out.
She knows the inside out.
Abi, as I call her, is a very assertive human, a go-getter, a goal-oriented, and a very ambitious person. She's indeed a born leader, I must say, and always sees the whole picture. And with all these extroverted qualities, she would humorously laugh you out of a very unpleasant situation you might have probably found yourself in. A choleric, of course. I remember one instance back in Legon. I asked her to accompany me to go braid my hair because there was an upcoming Legon Hall Week activity.
Yeah.
So she accompanied me to the salon, and as my hair was being done, I'm like because I couldn't speak up louder. Like, I didn't want the hairdresser to hear. Do you think my hair is good? Do you think my hair is good? She gives me a thumbs up. And then she blacks. Oh, I'm sure it's going to be a hit on campus. I'm like, oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm like, I can't wait to get back to school. You won't believe my hair gets done. We sit in the car, and then she goes like, hey, this is a messed up situation. And I'm like,
So all that hype was for nothing.
I know, right?
Wow.
I know, right? I'm like, Abena, you couldn't have done this. So I actually had to go back to school and then take off every braid on my hair.
Wow.
Because it was quite embarrassing.
She gingered you through it.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Abena has been, and above all this, she's been so impactful, both socially and religiously in her society. Her contribution to society has been outstanding and unequaled.
I mean, I tell you
She's
what,
encouraged.
for all these and more, we celebrate her today. And before your call came in, she shared a beautiful story with us. I mean, she's doing a tremendous job in Ghana, inspiring a lot of young people, young women to do more for themselves and, of course, to change our mindsets towards a developed Ghana. And that is one of the things I really respect about, her. Not to cut you short, but then since you're a very close friend, a best friend, I was going to ask her this, but just so I avoid her sugarcoating things, what does she do for fun when she's free, when she's not busy with all these duties?
Well, I must say I'm not really, haven't got a really active social extracurricular like going to parties, no. In the extra time, she loves to work in her garden.
Okay.
In the morning, she speaks to her plants every morning. She waters her plants. In her spare time, she goes into her prayer room and then prays. Basically, that's what she does, and she reads as well.
You forgot my phone. Because that you fight every day. You forgot my phone.
What did she?
My phone.
She said you forgot her phone.
Oh my God, she loves her phone. I'm sure her phone comes way before me.
I promise you, right? So we're in the studio doing the interview, and I realize she keeps looking at, I think her PA, because she has her phone. She's not with her phone, and she's not too comfortable with it. I mean, we'll wrap things up so she can get back to her phone. Would you by any chance know her favorite song?
I beg your pardon?
Would you by any chance know her favorite song now?
We actually have a couple of them.
A couple of them, okay. Tell me three. Tell me three.
A Doom Great by Dinah Hamilton.
Okay.
And we have I don't know what the title is, but I know the tune. All my life you have been faithful. Is it Tasha Cobbs or I can't remember.
CC Winers.
CC Winers, yes. And then another one. Yes, and we have this one as well. It was fragrant, but it came to fire, and my wife took my weapon.
She's smiling here. You got it all right. She's smiling here.
Right.
Thank you so much for taking time.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Abena. You're very welcome.
Hold on. She wants you to tell us her favorite secular songs too.
Well, her favorite secular artist is Daddy Lumba.
Daddy Lumba.
Yes.
You got everything correct, man. I wish this was Do You Want to Be a Millionaire?
I know that.
Exactly. You guys would have been millionaires by now. But thank you so much.
You're welcome,
for being there for Abena throughout. And I mean, we all need friends some way, somehow, just as you mentioned, to move up.
Definitely.
And our characters, I mean, where we grew up in Kumasi, they told us, show us your friend and we'll show you, your character.
I know, that's true.
I really believe in this friendship. I see greatness now, and I know your contribution has been super instrumental in this as well. So thank you so much, and we appreciate
so much
the fact that you agreed to speak to us on this. All right. Have a wonderful
day.
Very
well. You too, Abena. Thank you. Have a wonderful day as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so that was your best friend.
Yes,
God bless you for you. Okay, so you're a Daddy Lumba fan. Any day, right?
Any day.
Which of his songs can you sing word for word?
Unfortunately, I can't sing any word for it.
You can just vibe to it, right?
Yes.
You can do your thing with it.
You hardly will hear what he's saying.
That's the thing.
The tune will just move you.
Do you know I was beaten at some point in time growing up for knowing a Daddy Lumba song?
Oh, wow.
And I see my young self, I think I was about 11, didn't understand why until I grew up and heard the song again. I called my mom and said, you did a good job. You actually did a good job with that, because it was way beyond me. I mean, it's music for adults, that on the side. Let's move back to Nimed Capital.
My baby.
Yes, your baby. What were some of the significant milestones in your quest, to establish Nimed Capital? Things that you had to go through to establish it. When you brought up the idea, resistance, support, how was it?
So for me, Nimed is a miracle.
Okay.
Okay, and it took me well over 2 years to get the license. So all set up, and then I had applied to Securities and Exchange Commission for the license before you could start.
Yeah.
And it took me 2 years.
Wow.
And the most terrible thing that happened in the 2 year space is trying to get ready for the license to come. And then, because I had stuff all set and everything, but more or less like preparing behind the scene. And we engaged a website designer to set us up.
Yeah.
Okay, so design a website for us. And for some reason, the guy put it on live. And then for some reason, Security and Exchange, this one, saw that we were on, and then fined us 50,000 Ghana cedis.
I think it should have been a dummy site in the beginning, but he just went on. Activated the site. So it seemed you guys were operating.
That's right. And for Security and Exchange Commission, before they give you the license, they'll be monitoring you whilst, because they know that you're already set, just waiting for the license. So the day he went, I didn't even know that he had gone live. Reason I got to know that he went live at a point was because we're served with a fine. That was a huge blow.
50,000
Ghana cedis, coupled with the fact that I'd already waited for 2 years in that space to get a license.
And it meant, you'd be delayed in getting the license itself.
That wouldn't, because they kept monitoring it as well, so they realized that it was down.
Okay.
So it was not something they would punish me for, but again, the fine would have to be paid.
That money could have been used for other things.
Yeah, So that really hit me hard.
Did you feel like giving up at that point? Doing something else with the money that you had?
I was so determined to set up a reputable investment banking firm here in Ghana that would champion the financial literacy and then try to change the mindset of the younger ones to know that it's possible to be a millionaire when you're even 40.
It's possible?
Amazing, it's possible, but it comes with sacrifice.
Okay, so since we're on there, and help me pronounce this, Nimed.
Nimed.
All right. I was doing Nimed all along.
Everybody says Nimed, I guess.
Ella, you made me say Nimed.
Anyways, so now that we've talked about it, tell me some of the unique investment products Nimed offers, especially for young entrepreneurs like myself and the ones listening.
Okay, so we have two fantastic products that are doing amazing on the market. The first is the Nimed Fixed Income Fund. This is a collective investment scheme, and it gives you the opportunity to invest at your own convenience, okay, and also not stress yourself. So the minimum you can invest each month is 50 Ghana cedis, and then if you're consistent at it, with a it's doing a year to date of about 16.89 or something, or 69. I can't remember the notes on, but it's doing about 16 plus. With that consistency, if you're consistent and you give yourself some time, you should be on the way to being a millionaire. And the same product with the Unit Trust. That's also a collective investment scheme. Collective investment schemes are designed in such a way that individuals that don't have the muscle to do an investment to earn more can come together and put their monies in a basket, and then the basket then goes out to look for a good value for them, and then they share.
So like your two boom.
Sir.
Okay.
And Accra brings the 50 because when you take your 50 Ghana cedis to the market, you will not get 16%. So Kia brings 50, Yao brings 50, the other brings 1,000, the other brings 2,000, 20, and it accommodates different people and different stages or categories and the social ladder. So because it accommodates everybody, we have people paying as high as even 20,000 a month, and then you can have as low as 50 Ghana cedis a month. So then you are able to join this pool and then go out to get more or maximize your return.
Okay, so those are the two interesting products that we have.
Fantastic.
All right. Now, what support structure enabled you to pull it off to sustain the drive till now? I mean, there must be a secret.
Let me give a shout out to my team.
All right.
Oh my God. My support system has been my team. They are amazing. I've been blessed with an amazing supporting staff. You have no idea. My head of finance, my compliance, the most controversial you will find. He will find he wants to look out for the dots, cross every T. He's amazing. Edem is his name. My portfolio manager, Peggy, Anita's amazing lady, and my PA, super. She just pushes me even when I don't want to do, especially even coming here. She'll hit you in the morning, in the evening.
She got here very early.
And then when she sees I'm not really giving in, it's like, yes, Prime Minister. So when she starts, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm too busy for that. She won't say anything. She'll go and then she'll come back again. Have you looked at that? I think you should you should look at this. She's an amazing young lady and I love her. And I have a super staff, my IT staff. I can't mention everybody's name, but my staff at Nimed, they're a blessing from God. I'm not sure many CEOs can say this, but I will say it with all certainty. These people are a blessing, and they have been my major support system. I can't even talk about technology. No, though we have an amazing technology, top notch. But my support is my team.
God bless them. God bless them for
Thank you for blessing them.
Creating a CEO. That's super proud of them, You rarely see these things happen.
But I pray about them anyway.
Yeah, you should.
It's something that CEOs need to do. You see, before you get people you work with, you need to pray about them. And I pray that God bring me people that share my ideologies, that share my passion. So then it's not difficult for me to push the agenda I'm running with. So he being a faithful God, he listens to even the silliest prayers. God, I want to be slim.
Wow.
He even listens to that. How much more God give me good people to work with?
Wow.
And he does.
Now, based on your many years of experience as an investment banker, what in your opinion is the biggest threat to the average Ghanaian's quest for financial independence? What is stopping the average Ghanaian from investing? What is the issue when it comes to investment to the average Ghanaian person?
Procrastination. Procrastination. You see, every Ghanaian, be it the 15 years old, has the ability, and I'm very careful with that word, and I'll still repeat it, the ability to invest. But procrastination is what is keeping every one of them from getting financial independence. I'm sure the next question is why. The 15 years, trust me, when they want their mother to get them an iPhone or their father to get them an iPhone, talk about all the pressure and the stress they would give the parents for the parent to do it. That same energy can be channeled to their parents to get them an investment account, which they can use when they're of age to probably be their capital to set up a business, their capital to even buy their first mortgage. Okay, but this 15-year-old is more interested in the iPhone than
iPhone 11, the Pro.
And the reason I say procrastination is that they see that I have too much time.
Okay.
So
let me do this now.
Let me get the iPhone and then I'll do that later. When you come to a professional, okay, some of them even know that this is my investment objective. This is my financial goal. I want to be able to buy a Hyundai Tucson in 2 years' time, and I want to put money aside. This month they get money and they say, oh, let me do it next month.
That's true.
This month they get money, oh, let's do it February. I'm thinking I'm going to get some money in February. I'll use that one instead. Okay. And somebody blesses them with some money and like, oh, this one, next time Uncle Kojo said they will help me with my rent, so let me just blow this. Meanwhile, you had a financial objective to make sure that you invest for the rent. Okay. But because we keep procrastinating, that's how come most Ghanaians are not able to achieve financial liberation. So procrastination is like a small word, but if you procrastinate, you are not disciplined, and without discipline, you can never be a millionaire. I'm telling you, write it down. Without discipline, you can never be a millionaire, unless. The only way you can be a millionaire is when you just chance on it, you some inheritance or something. But even without the discipline, you'll not be able to sustain or maintain that wealth.
Leads me to my next question. The skill set in creating wealth differs from the skill set in sustaining wealth, right?
I wouldn't say it differ. I think that for you to create wealth, you need to be able to plan. You need to be disciplined.
Yeah.
You need to have information, and also you need to monitor. They are very simple, and you're thinking, oh, really plan? Oh, really? Yes, but for you to create wealth, you need to have information of what you're doing. So people invest in investment, they don't even know the investment strategy behind the investment. Okay, so and people invest in investments that have gone bad because they didn't even know what the investment was used for, or the kind of vehicles that the investment was investing in. If you just invest like that without information, you lose the money. And you also need information to be able to monitor the investment that you're doing. So for instance, if you are doing an investment and the investment is yielding 16%, you should know that this investment that you're doing is giving you the maximum return that you could have gotten on the market. And monitoring that is what's going to enable you to be wealthy or even get to that millionaire status that you want to get to. So for me, I do not think that you need some separate skills to create wealth and another separate or another skill to maintain that wealth. That same skills run through.
It runs through.
I
think it's just you sustaining whatever skills that you have through.
That's
you
right.
follow through.
That's it.
Because I mean, one thing my mom always says is, if you have $1 million and you don't manage it well, tomorrow you won't have $1 million
At all.
And so, just as you said, if you don't have too much info on how to even invest this $1 million, the next morning your $1 million can drop into 900,000.
Yes.
And if you're not disciplined, you will be forced to go and take a huge chunk out of the $1 million to go buy something luxurious, something that you
Won't have value.
want, something that you don't really need. And so you lose it. So all these things are very, very important. I'm still on this whole wealth and then, sustenance, investment matter. Some people believe that, successful businesses are built from top to bottom, while some are of the opinion that it works better from bottom up. Where do you stand on this?
It depends on what you mean from bottom up and top to bottom. I've been thinking through this thing, you see, and entrepreneurship, people think that when you probably have it up there, it's there, but you still need the base. I would say it. You need to build from bottom up. When there's always a top bottom, the base is not fair.
That's true.
Okay, so building from the bottom up, you have a firm foundation, and then the top is always able to be sustained.
Wow. It makes sense. Perfect sense. Shouts going out to Priscilla A. and Chum. Says Abena is doing justice to all the questions. I'm glad the listeners are loving it. I'm so proud of you, madam. Edna EM says, inspirational woman here, so much knowledge to share. Mame Ama Justice says, proud of you, investment queen. They call you the investment queen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. When did you get the title?
Okay, so when I decided to champion the financial literacy, I needed something that would be catchy. So there was this team I was working with, and we're looking for a name or a brand that will go out, then people would want to know what this is about. So one day we're just deliberating on, and then Randy comes up and says, investment queen. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's it.
We pick
That's
it.
That's it.
We agreed
So,
on
yeah,
that. That's where it came from.
That's where it came from.
Now, beyond championing the cause of financial literacy, as you mentioned, in the 21st century by offering sound financial education, what other ways does Nimed and you empower young people, especially to attain financial independence? Anything extraordinary we're doing?
Okay, so what we're doing is that we're setting up investment clubs in the universities. And just again to inform them. So there are investment clubs that we're setting in the various universities in Accra. We intend to move it to the other regions as and when we're done with that. And also give young people opportunities to have internship at Nimed. So that when they come in, they see how people have progressed with their investments. It challenges them. Because for me, that was my major eye-opener. If I had not gone into that space,
you wouldn't have.
I would not have seen it, because I didn't have anybody ever tell me. Because in Ghana, we don't have the savings culture. We don't. We like to borrow, and even our government does it. Our government doesn't save. They're always borrowing. So if you don't have somebody to tell you that live within your means, and then make sure that every time you get something, put some away, and then spend the rest if you want to.
And all these informations are privileged to mostly investment bankers, right?
That's it.
Do you think Ghana needs an investment banker? Ghana?
As a president?
I mean, the whole nation. Somebody...
We have an investment banker as the finance minister.
But don't you think we need beyond that? Because you just mentioned something very important, that we keep,
borrowing?
Yeah. Is it that we know and we choose to ignore? Or
I think that in Ghana, circumstances really determine the kind of solutions that the people in the helms of affairs provide. So when the situation is not too good, when it's not there, it's not there. So you might need to go get and then solve what you probably want to solve. I think that in Ghana, the problem would be a lot of generation. Our expenditure is huge, and then we generate less. So it might not be really the people there who are not knowledgeable or don't have the experience or the capacity to administer it in a way that a financial analyst or investment banker would have done. But it's because that the situation they find themselves will mean that they might need to think outside the box of that space and then be able to provide the solution for that existing situation that Ghanaians or Ghana finds itself.
That's very, very thoughtful. Now, I know for sure that in implementing change, sometimes we need to go beyond just suggestions. You know, we need to go to the front where we can actually apply certain things. Do you ever have plans of getting to that realm? If the mandate is given to you, if you're given the opportunity to join into the realm of affairs, as you mentioned,
don't take me there, please.
is it a yes? Is it a yes or no?
No,
is this something you might consider?
For me, no. Politics is not something.
Not politics per se. You know, if you're called on, let's
so
say
like
the
I
ministry
told you,
calls
I told you that I had an ambition.
Yes.
Growing up, seeing Kwabnadu to be a governor.
Yes.
Okay. I just adored him as the governor, and I just enjoyed the fact that you sign on every.
If the opportunity comes,
but I'm not
say,
sure that I really want to be a governor now.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, my mind hasn't really got there. But I take on challenges when I'm given, and I like to do my best.
But if the need arises, just as you say, you would definitely consider.
Why do you want me to say yes?
Oh no, you said a yes already. You said a yes already. Anyways, it's time for us to get questions from you guys. If you're locked in now, you have a question for Abena, anything beyond what you've already heard, anything you didn't really understand, kindly send it through 020222207. Should do justice to it. Shouts going out to our Facebook viewers. Kindly do share. Someone in here says, "Good morning, Rev. I'm a young boy growing up, and I know nothing about investment, but here comes a case where I want to start investing. How do I go about it? And how much do you need to start with?" Let me answer one for you. You need just 50 cedis. Anything you'd like to add?
So you just need to come to Nimed and we'll help you. Or probably leave your number, then I'll get somebody, or I'll probably call you myself and take you through what you need to do.
All right. MC from La says, "Love her determination. Please ask if you can make an investment with a fresh account made, as in treasury bill." It's a bit confusing here.
Okay, so treasury bill is an investment instrument. So if you have a treasury bill, then you are actually doing an investment. But then what you probably will be lacking is the ability, or what you'll be lacking is to have a professional monitor it for you. The advantage of getting an asset management to do your investments for you than you going is that they have an overview of the portfolios or the vehicles that are available, and then they know at any point in time the ones that will give you the maximum return that would speed up your process for whatever goal that you want. So what you probably will be lacking is the investment advice or the advisory service that you could have gotten from a fund management. So I advise you is that probably speak to a professional and let's help you structure a good portfolio for your investments.
MC, just speak to Nimed, okay? Put the details out so you can get the best tips on that. Third question in here from Salasi inside Abokobi says, "What do you think about cryptocurrency as an investment?"
I knew that question will come here. Okay, so for me, my investment policy is that preserve the principal and preserve the interest. So every investment that I preach or I enter or I would advise anybody to go to is the one that would preserve your capital and your interest. It's good to be very ambitious, have an appetite for risk. It's good because, like the saying goes, the higher the risk, the higher the return. Cryptos are very risky and then has the opportunity to also give you a higher return. But the truth of the matter is you should, again, like I said, understand the product. So you should have good information, good knowledge about this product before that you invest in. For me, with all the information that I have, cryptos are not something that I recommend. Thank you.
I perfectly understand. And so let me just break it down a little bit for you guys. It's good to invest in something that protects the money you're investing with.
That's right.
And so if you're investing and then the next day there's a dynamic in how it operates and you're losing what you even invested in, then there's no point in actually going to invest money in that. Anyways, third question from Ahmed Opoku. Ahmed Opoku says, in your opinion, what are some of the most essential values a young woman must possess in order to be able to surmount the challenges of professional environments?
Discipline.
Okay, number one,
discipline. The professional terrain is very challenging, that if you're not disciplined, you might need to do other movements to be able to even move up the ladder. So discipline, hard work. You need to work hard. Any schedule you're given, you need to make sure that you're giving it your best and to make sure that you're performing. Okay, so hard work. And the last, which adds everything, you yourself should have an objective why you are in life, why you are you're existing. So when you have that and you're working towards that, all these things will fall in place. I won't forget my first H, humility. Please.
Very, very important.
Please. If you're a young lady, a young man, let that be your number one focus. Humility will take you to places you never expected to go. humility will open doors. Humility is more powerful than networking. In fact, it works with networking, but if you don't have humility, you are not able to network.
I don't think you can even sustain the networks you have, because you can be recommended by Abena to connect to somebody in the business field, but your humility will determine whether what Abena said was true or false. Very, very important. The big H. In here. So throughout, I think you've really advised and inspired a lot of us young ones, we at the base, but let's spend a moment to actually talk to the professionals as well. What significant role do you think investment bankers can play to support the government's drive to reduce unemployment and despondency among the youth? The role of investment bankers, all of us, everyone in the field.
I'm quiet. You know why? My thoughts on this is very controversial, and I don't want to make headlines. So if you want to jump the question, I would appreciate.
Okay.
Thank you.
I can rephrase. I can rephrase.
Okay, rephrase it for me.
So
but
in the
my
growing,
thoughts. If I want to tell you my thoughts, I don't want to make headlines.
Don't you want us to try it? Maybe just a tip of it?
No way.
No way.
No way.
Okay.
I'm so determined that I'm not going to spew a word on that.
Okay, I respect that. But let me rephrase. I still want to get a little bit of something from there. To the average investment banker locked in now, what should be that extra thing they do in delivering their service to the average Ghanaians? I mean, we've talked about the fact that procrastination, all these things limit Ghanaians from doing what they have to do to secure their future, investing. What should the investment bankers also look out for, apart from just doing their work and then earning just their money? Anything extra?
Okay, so for an ordinary investment banker, what has the investment banker got to do with another, say, gentleman A who probably needs a job in mining? Okay. The only thing they can do for you is to let you know that these are the opportunities you can invest money in. But of course, you should have the capital, which again has a fundamental that we need to address. Okay. But for an entrepreneur who is an investment banker or who is in the space of investment banking, is for you to have a muscle that you can open up and employ more people and to reduce the number of people, or probably sponsor some key people to be able to go into the professional studies and then hire them. So for me, one of my number one things that someday I would want to do is to have an all-women investment banking firm. So from the top, right from the board to the receptionist or even security is ladies. And the reason is that's what I want.
Yeah, that's the angle.
That's the angle, that there are not too many women in the investment banking space. So if I want to help or bring my quota, then I'm going to make sure that there are some young ones that I'm going to put together and then probably focus on these and train them as investment bankers and then hire them to work in this space. Okay, so that's the bit that we can do as entrepreneurs in the space. But then for a financial analyst who is working for their salary, like tell Prisla, how are you going to help somebody who wants to get a job in mining? The only thing that she can tell you is the opportunities that she sees are available for you, but not able to. That one is for the top.
Yeah. I get it.
For the top.
I get why you skipped it now.
Yeah.
And I know when we are done, I'll get the full info. If you don't say that,
I'll tell you.
I'll come back and tell them. 40 after 11 actually. We're still on here. A few more things to touch on and then we'll wrap up on Wiley the Ball series today. So along the line, football came in. There's Karela United.
Yes.
It's doing very well in the GPL this season. What has been the story behind the success and how involved are you in the running of the club? The
bonuses. Okay, so I think that the boys are charged up themselves. And for me, when I took over, I told them that I'm not a football person. And from the my background, football is a dog. I have to shoot it because it sucks from you. It doesn't give you. So listen, in as much as I'm going to invest in this, it's your career. Okay, so I think that every boy in the team now knows that they are not playing for Karela. They are playing to enhance their careers.
Themselves, yeah.
So I'm giving you a platform to showcase you. So if you want to be showcased, because for them their ultimate is to be bought by a team outside.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a platform. Come showcase yourself
And be bought and go and
be
make your
bought
money.
and go and make your money. So more or less we have an understanding that you're not pleasing me, yourself. And if you really determined, you can do it. So I guess it's been encouragement, and then try to also make their lives comfortable and then push them. That's all. There's not much going on, but I think that they themselves are fired up to be seen on the limelight.
Abena, as an investment banker, would you advise a new client to invest in football in Ghana?
No.
That's on the side. My days. Anyways, so how crucial, right, is mentorship for you, considering the number of young people you are surrounded with? How important is mentorship?
It is, because you see, when you look at the experience I told you, or
Yeah.
the experiences I've told you, sometimes it's very important that you hold people's hands and get them to do what they have to do. Mentorship is key to the sense that sometimes it's just one word or one introduction or one I don't know how to put it, but somebody comes to you and then it's just something that you say will change the person's perspective,
yeah.
and then their destiny forever. Okay, so I don't take it lightly, and then people who come around, I try to keep them together, and then you, the mentee, should be prepared to learn. You should, because if I push and you're not forthcoming, then of course there are too many. I would certainly jump and then go to another. So I am key on that, and I'm working hard. It's been a bit tough last year, but this year I'm hoping that we'll be able to put a few groups together and then help push. And my focus is on women mentees, and that's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing. All right, we're going to touch on a little bit more on that. You've spoken to a lot of young Ghanaians. I mean, you've met a lot. Critically speaking, do you think there's hope in our future? Ghana, we are the future leaders. The ones you speak to, do they look like they can hold the future well? Is there hope?
I think there's hope.
There's hope, right?
I think there's hope. The hope is that when you speak to young girls, young guys now, they are determined to make it. They have so much energy that they are pushing to make it.
Yeah.
Okay, and in that energy, because most of them don't have the space to unleash that energy in genuine kind of business, is also the ripple effect we are finding in most young ones now going into other illegal,
yes.
because the passion and the fire
The
now
readiness
to
is there.
make it is there. Everybody wants to make it. Everybody sees the future bright and is desperate to make sure that they get to that light they see from where they sit. So by hook, no, all means, anyhow I can manage it, I need to make sure that I get there. And yes, there's hope, but we need to make sure that we guide them to channel the energies, the vibe that they've gotten into the right space, the right direction, and we would all get there. God bless Ghana.
Thank you. I like that. Thank you so much, Abena, for spending time with us. And before I let you go, I know the questions are too many. What legacy do you want, or would you want to imprint on the minds of, especially, the young ones you come across, the ones that you've met, the ones that know you from a distance? What legacy would you want to leave behind? Your Budi Abena Brigidi. What do you want, apart from the queen of
So for me,
investments?
my legacy is what would give me the greatest joy is to give people financial liberation, not by giving them money, but by making it. Okay, so my legacy would be that I've been able to make, say, 100 millionaires from a low level, a low. When I say low level, not in terms of status, but in terms of low cash, low bank account. Okay, and then I've been able to give them that millionaire status. That would be my legacy.
And that's perfect. I mean, I tap into that as well. As a Christian, I know what
receive it.
Prayer and hoping into things mean. And so we tap into all that. It's been an awesome journey with you on the show.
Thank
I
you
didn't even
for
realize
having
2 hours had, we've done 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah. 2 hours of inspiration, 2 hours of thought-provoking inspiration. I mean, things you shared today were inspirational.
Wow.
We love you. We love you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And in your space, keep brighten the corner wherever you are.
That one I'm not losing God.
You're not losing God on it. Final thing I want to find out from you, okay? The youth of this country, as well as all those from all over the world, the ones that have joined in on Facebook, on Twitter, via our tuning link in Kumasi, Accra, Takoradi, we're all listening. What are your final words to them, to every young person locked into the show now?
So, to every one of you, my first thing that I would want to say is that in your heart, in yourself, go inside yourself and then really identify what you want to be. Then plan, work for it, and be consistent in what you're doing to achieve what that objective is. Everything in this world is possible if you plan and work towards it. Even if you want to be the president of Ghana, it's possible. If you want to be the next Dangote, it's possible. All what that means is that you need to plan, work hard at it, and be consistent with it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you
bless
too.
you so much. And in the back is one of your favorites. Don't buy Dinah Hamilton. I know sometimes people wonder why from Nebo Gospel. Yes. When our guests love it, we have to do it. You're out. Hey, I'd have to say this, man. I think she's the first guest who has said, I'm out. She said, I'm out. I'm done. And so that's another one for her. Another Daddy Lumba for her. Yes, so that's right. Guys, interesting personality, man. Abena, before you go, your social media handles in case people want to get in touch with you.
So Abena Brigidi, Facebook, Abena Brigidi, Instagram, Abena Brigidi, YouTube, Abena Brigidi,
LinkedIn everywhere.
Abena Brigidi, Twitter, everywhere Abena Brigidi.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I think normally it's Investment Queen, but Abena Brigidi and then
Everywhere.
Investment Queen.
All right. Guys, connect with her, man. Connect with her. She's ready to share all she knows with you. That's the purpose of Wiley the Boss series. We came, we saw, we conquered. My big thanks going out to our sponsors, Carbank. Carbank says *771# is making everything simple for you in mobile banking. If you want to create an account, go on there. If you want to register for the service itself, that's a hashtag. That's the short code. Replace, update your Ghana card. You can renew it on there. You can check your account balance, transfer funds to any mobile money wallet, MTN, Momo, Airtel, Tigo card, Vodafone card, pay third-party vendors, transfer funds to other banks, and more. And also a good one going out to MTN Ghana for holding us down on Wiley the Board series. It's getting bigger and better every single day. MTN wants to give you so much more. It's actually giving you so much more to all our loyal customers. You know we love your phone calls. We know you do love your long conversations as well. That is why from now we give you the opportunity to talk for free and only pay for the first minutes and talk as long as you wish. Plus, we give you 50 free megabyte data to browse for free. Just dial *550# to subscribe to MTN Free After One now and stay connected. We're good together. MTN everywhere you go. Of course, T's and C's apply. And this morning, if you need that drink to refresh you, it's called Choco Malt. High Five Choco Malt from Casa Precon. It's made with malt and then chocolate Cocoa from Ghana. High five Chocomo. It's at a cool price of 3 Ghana cedis per bottle. It's a new normal. It's best served chill. Make sure you chill it before you enjoy. Available in all supermarkets and shops nationwide. Another quality product from Casa Preco Company Limited and ISO certified company. For bulk purchase, kindly call 0262 351 251 or 0272 133 373. It's been a while leaderboard series. Kudos going out to the production team, Ella, Ken, Eddie Blay, our photographer, Yanni Photography, Digital George, Lester, and Kali J, and of course my DJ gang. We'll make some quick cash right after that. Serve you what we have for you before we wrap up.
Congratulations, you found the one station that plays Ghana's best urban music.
YFM.
Listen to YFM 107.9 Accra, 102.5 Kumasi, and 97.9 at Takoradi.